The billionaire refused to dance with anyone until the black janitor walked in with her daughter, and he fell to his knees right there in the middle of the ballroom. The billionaire who never danced, the man who never smiled, now sobbing, holding the hand of a young black girl no one had ever seen before. The whispers turned into gasps as she whispered, "Daddy?" And standing behind her, the janitor he'd ignored for years, now crying too. No one knew what was happening. But something big was unraveling. This isn't just a story about a secret. It's about what happens when truth breaks the silence of power. Welcome, story lovers, from Where Are You Watching? Hit the like button and drop your city name in the comments so we can see how far our story travels. It was the annual Winter Solstice Gala, a dazzling event where power met prestige. The ballroom shimmered in crystal and gold, and at the center stood Gregory Langford, the billionaire tech mogul known not just for his wealth, but for his silence. He never danced, never smiled, never mingled. People said he was too proud, too cold, too unreachable. But behind that stoic face was a man chained to a memory no one knew. A night 2 decades ago, a love hidden, a secret buried deep. No one would guess that this self-made mogul once fell for someone the world said he shouldn't. And tonight, as the elite sipped champagne and begged for a moment of his time, Gregory kept looking toward the door, as if waiting for something, or someone. What none of them realized was that this night wouldn't end in luxury. It would unravel everything. The music played, the lights dimmed, and the crowd swayed, but Gregory stood frozen. Dozens of women approached him for a dance. Socialites, heiresses, business moguls' daughters, each politely dismissed with a blank stare. Whispers started to rise, questioning why he even hosted the gala. Then, through the marble entrance, she walked in head down in her faded work uniform, Cassandra, the night janitor. Her presence drew stares, sneers, even laughter. She wasn't invited. She was staff, but beside her stood a teenage girl in a simple maroon dress, her eyes wide, her curls bouncing, nervous yet poised. Security moved swiftly. "You can't be here," one whispered harshly. But before they could act, Gregory raised his hand. "Let them in." Silence swept the room. His eyes locked onto the girl, then her mother. Something shifted in his posture. He moved. For the first time in years, he stepped onto the dance floor, not toward the elites, but toward the janitor's daughter. Whispers turned to gasps. The girl looked confused. Cassandra looked panicked. He held out his hand to the child, gently, reverently. She hesitated, then took it. And as they danced, the girl's eyes locked onto his with something beyond curiosity, something ancestral, something painful. "Why do you look like me?" she whispered. That's when Cassandra, trembling, dropped her mop and whispered through tears, "Because he is your father." The gala cracked open not from scandal, but from truth. Gasps echoed across the ballroom. The orchestra stopped mid-note. Gregory froze, the truth exposed in front of hundreds. He turned to Cassandra, his face pale, jaw clenched, not with anger, but grief. He had loved her, but society hadn't allowed it. His family disapproved. Her skin, her status, their child were all buried under fear and reputation. He had abandoned them, not by choice, but by cowardice. Now years later, his daughter stood before him, eyes identical to his mother's, soul stronger than his own. As he dropped to his knees, tears spilling, he held her hand like it was the only thing anchoring him to life. "Forgive me," he whispered. And in that moment, the billionaire wasn't the host. He wasn't the elite. He was just a father, broken, and begging for a second chance. Dear audience, if you're enjoying the story, don't forget to give it a like. It really helps. The night didn't end in glitter. It ended in raw humanity. Gregory left the gala with Cassandra and their daughter arm in arm, ignoring the flashing cameras and stunned crowd. But the true ending wasn't in headlines. It was in healing. He publicly acknowledged them the next morning, funded scholarships in his daughter's name, gave Cassandra the home he once promised. The same people who laughed now cheered, but Cassandra knew better. The applause didn't erase the silence she'd suffered. Still, she chose grace over bitterness for her daughter and Gregory. He finally danced, not with power, but with purpose, because true legacy isn't built on status. It's built on truth, no matter how long it takes to face. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel for more powerful stories and new videos.